Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, your home of your classic games, classic content, and classic and everything else to do with Tottenham Hotspur. This morning we're going to talk about Spurs. Are we still in the top four after last night's result with Chelsea and Arsenal? And just the future for Spurs. Man United announcing their new manager this morning as well. What does that mean for us for next season? And basically just going through really the next fixtures, where we'll end up and what will happen for the end of the season. This morning I'm joined by my usual two co-hosts, Mark up beside me. Mark, good morning. And the man from Canada who makes everything all right. He's like the Bob Marley of this channel. He's always cool. He's always chilled out. He's
but like not stoned.
Yeah, but he's like in the hot beach with a can of beer in one hand and a bag of Smarties in the other. It's Bobby K. How are you, Bobby? And Mark this morning.
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys? Dermot, Mark, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Very well. How are we all?
I think Dermot gave me the wrong announcement. I think it's supposed to be you on the beach with a beer in hand. Your middle name's Lager.
Yes. Yes. Well, it got changed.
You take the beer. I'll keep the Smarties.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, Scrumpy.
For everybody.
Well, Scrumpy. Hang on. What's going on? Oh, all right. Well, Scrumpy. Well, Scrumpy. I don't like Scrumpy, so it had to go.
Yeah. You and Ben were having that conversation on the show a little while ago. So
even though I do live in Cider Town.
Well, Scrumpy. I don't. In Cider Town.
Well, it's Cider County. That's what we're famous for in my
county.
I
didn't know that. Okay, so you learn something new every day.
Yes.
Now I know. Yeah. Now I know. And that's like that fresh farmhouse cider kind of thing. Like it's that the real apples. My uncle investor, he took me to a place that's there. It was like a farm basically, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna go for a cider if you like cider." I'm like, "Okay." He took me to this place, and I was it was warm basically, and I was just like,
cloudy. Cloudy.
Not overly cloudy, but it was thick. I remember that.
Yeah.
And it was very, but I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was.
I bet you did.
Cool night in England and everything. Typical damp kind of. So it, kind of warms the bones up kind of thing. So I was like, okay, now I know why you guys drink so much. You got to stay warm. It's got nothing to do with wanting to drink. It's just a matter of staying warm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway,
how you feeling, Dermot?
Yeah, I'm all right. Hang on, just let me bring on the man who's here. I'm now going to drop off, and then I'll let you, Coover, and Bobby K take over the show.
We got to behave now. Good morning.
I'm going to. No, the boss is not here. The boss is taking the morning off. His right hand man is here. So there you go. Right, enjoy.
Vice President. Morning, Coop.
So get the tequila out and the rum out. It's
party time now. Yeah, that's it.
How's everyone?
They'll never know. Fantastic. How you doing today, buddy? I see you're smiling. You're smiling. Good, as we should be. I know a lot of.
Yeah, it's just nice having one of those mornings where you're actually getting stuff done that you need to get done. It's
whoa.
Yeah, it's good. I just feel better after it's all out of the way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The honey-do list is always growing.
Yeah, indeed. Right, what are we up to then? We're talking about.
Well, we got Ten Hag's appointment. We've got Chelsea's game. We've got our upcoming game. We've got
Chelsea's game. Should we start with that?
Should we start with the Chelsea game? Okay, let's start with the Chelsea game. I was just watching Nick, and I know he's in here, and he's going to be upset that I stole this from him. But I was just seeing he was on We Are Tottenham TV, and he was going on about how it's possible conspiracy theories with this because of the fact that Sky is lining up themselves to make sure that that match, that North London derby, is the biggest watched football event in the world.
Yes.
Forget the World Cup, but let's make sure Arsenal Tottenham is the most watched, viewed. So maybe Chelsea, who's absolutely skint right now, as you guys like to say, and is at the on the footpaths with their hands out kind of thing. Maybe took a little something. What are your thoughts, Mark? What do you think about that?
I knew that Chelsea wouldn't do us any favors.
Oh, they
I knew it. Because it's the two teams that basically hate us the most. And I think there's a conspiracy theory. because their team was drastically altered. I think, wasn't it? I only got to watch the second half.
Yeah, that's what. From my understanding, I was at work. My
Didn't
shift.
they have any? Didn't they have a strange formation going on there? Like 6 games before the cup final, and so they can't say they were resting them for the cup final and all that sort of stuff.
You know what? There's just so many holes. Like when you look at the lineup, you look at the way they play.
Yeah.
You look at the fact that Arsenal are on this dreadful 3-game losing streak with.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Over those 3 games, they didn't score a goal. I know they lost 1-0 to Southampton. I know they lost the week before that.
It was all 1-0.
Was it all 1-0?
No. 2-1 to Brighton. 2-1 to Brighton.
2-1 to Brighton. Okay.
Yeah.
So they did score a goal.
Yeah, only just.
All right. So that's good to know.
I knew though that Chelsea wouldn't do us any favors. I knew it.
Yeah, it's you know what, and as Nick has put in the comments already, thief. Yeah, you know what, I stole it from you, buddy. Deal with it. Just the way Sky is stealing our top 4 hopes. But I don't want to be pessimistic about it. But let's say good morning to everybody here quickly. Kuv, if you want to start smashing on them buttons.
Oh yeah,
let's say good mornings and let's get caught up a little bit here, and then let's get into what your guys' thoughts are regarding the conspiracy and everything. And Moondog's here. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Fellow patron.
Don't know who this is. Could be
anybody. Tottenham.
We just skip that.
He's
some fucking idiot. He is.
What's that? Who's that really good-looking guy in the corner there?
It's me. It's
Bob Marley.
That's Christian K.
No, it's Bob Marley.
There you go. Shorter hair.
Yeah. Alan, good to see you as well, mate.
Morning.
Yes.
You're feeling better, buddy. I know you've had a rough few days there. And there he is. There he is, the man. Uncle Ranjit, as he's known in this house now.
Uncle Ranjit.
Uncle Ranjit, yeah. If you watch the show that he does with the kids, they joke when I told them all the names about how, when he comes in, here's this list of names that he goes by. And they looked at me, Ranjit. And then, it's kind of cute because Christian kind of just looks at me. He's like, Dad, I thought he was white. I'm like, that's his Indian given name. And then Jay jokingly says, well, we have to call him Uncle Ranjit out of respect. I was like, yes, you do. Perfect. So that's what they did. And now it's kind of stuck. So it's kind of cute. Yeah.
And next on Vancouver 99 tonight.
Yeah. I think you guys are fighting for who has the most names in the YouTube channel. And there's a debate that could be had. Well, still, good morning.
He has an entire telephone directory for his name.
Yeah, that's true. Big up to you, Welsh Girl. Thanks for joining us all the way from Wales. Hopefully you're well.
That's not too far from me.
Yeah, I said it. I said I was, bro. You can't call somebody that said they're gonna steal from you a thief after they've done it. It's pointless, So at this point now, we're just gonna have to.
I agree with Welsh Girl. It wasn't fixed last night.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. Big time.
I didn't watch the match, but I watched that incident with the penalty, and you just thinking, why would he do that?
Yeah.
It's to make sure, wasn't
Sorry,
it?
fill me in, Coofs, because I don't know. Like I said, I haven't even watched the highlights.
He handled him. He was in the middle. Saka was in the middle of the penalty area, and he literally just handled him to the ground.
I saw the first goal where basically the defender pretty much passed it back into Saka's path and said, "Here you go."
Yeah,
it was prearranged before the match that Chelsea would lose that last night.
Yes,
but if you look at it on another hand, we're a step closer to third as well. If Arsenal self-explode and Arsenal don't lose on Man United and we win, exactly. I'm looking at
everybody else. We got to stop worrying about everybody else. Just play
if we had beaten Brighton and we were already 3 points closer to Chelsea, that result wouldn't have happened last night.
Yeah, possibly. And if we had beaten Southampton, if we had beaten Wolverhampton, if we had not hired Mourinho, if we had never let Levy come in, it's gotta look forward, man. Gotta look forward.
Yeah, true. But
I'm in a good mood. You're smiling, Coovs. I refuse to let them take that smile away.
Well,
sunny days ahead, baby. It's a shitty England day over here today. It's pissing rain, dark, cloudy, miserable. So
I don't know about you.
I see you guys sunshine over there, Mark. So we're having a.
I tell you one thing. It's very warm here in Ireland. It's a lovely warm day here in Ireland, the sunny southeast as I live in, as we call it.
Lovely.
Might go
Is
down
it
to the
sunny
beach.
in England?
Even the
Might go down
snowman
to the
outside his
beach.
door has got a glaze on it today.
You what?
Even your snowman outside the door has got glaze on it today.
Yeah, it is. He needs to go back to Colombia. I have to tell him I have to put him back on the plane back to Colombia.
Not that kind of snow.
No, I was going to say.
No comment.
That's
No
going a
comment.
bit
We all know what you get up to in your spare time,
Next
Coof.
comment.
I'll be
Next
on the
comment.
channels. A hell of a lot more of us doing that.
Are you telling me you're telling me you're Escobar in the background? You know, you're Escobar. You just settled in the southeast of in the southwest of England.
What, sort of dead and all my money's worthless now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you buried it.
That works.
And you buried it in all the fields, and you can't find it where you buried it.
Oh boy.
But other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're tickety boo.
Rolly here. Let's keep going. We're getting behind here.
Go on.
Rolly, thanks
Rolly.
for joining us this morning. Good afternoon.
I think he's a
to you.
new member, so
I
he's
don't know the name.
Yeah.
No,
welcome
well,
aboard, mate.
Thank you.
Rolly.
Rolly, though, it could be another one of the next
Rolly?
names. It's,
Sorry, is it
the
Rolly or
dog.
Rolly? Rolly.
It's got to be Rolly, surely.
With one L, it's Rolly, is it normally not?
Rolly.
It's Rolly. Rolly, got to be.
Yeah,
It's
Correct
Rolly,
us if you're
Rolly before a pint, Rolly after.
yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. True. John Fitzpatrick, big up, mate.
Big up, my Irish
Good morning
brother.
to you,
Big up
Sean.
the
Good
beautiful
morning to
panel.
you.
I apologise, my camera isn't working. I am getting a new one, but I've just saluted I've just saluted, by the way, to
You
John.
saluted your mic. Nice. Good enough.
Yeah.
And who else? Andrew Bailey.
Andrew
Morning,
Bailey.
mate.
Good morning,
I hope
Andrew.
you're
Thanks
doing
for
well.
joining us.
Oh, you're doing well.
Rev.
Still
thank
for
God
rough, but thank God for
Tantrum.
Tottenham tantrum. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he is having a rough old time.
We'll try to make you feel a bit better today, Andrew. We'll do our level best. We won't talk about Pablo Escobar and stuff like that. Happy times ahead.
Yeah, that'll never.
Oh wait,
happen.
but that'll make really big people happy. Wait, never mind. Maybe that's
Well,
what
I
we should
found
talk about.
actually, I found 1.5 minutes of us beating England in Euro '88 and that famous goal. So I'm really
let's not
happy.
put that on.
Nice.
I might do later for the crack.
Yeah.
34 years ago, that is dumb. And
Yeah,
you're
still
hanging on
harping
to
on.
it.
Still
Well, it's
harping.
taken you 30 years to beat us. And then when you did beat us, we had the shit side.
Yeah,
So,
that's what
you
happens
know,
when you don't play.
we're still unbeaten against
People
you.
complain about
Mark, I
us
think you and I could
being-
just sit back on this one.
People
Go
complain
ahead.
about
Let
us
him go.
hanging on to the World Cup result in '66. Yeah, sure, but I mean that's winning a World Cup. It's not just winning a single match against somebody that lives close to you.
Yeah, but we spent
Yeah.
700 years you repressing us and we kicked your ass for 700 years. So
And again,
there you
now
go.
you're making
Beat
it
that.
political again.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'll be back when they're done, Mark.
he's on the naughty step.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
gone.
That's it. Boot him.
Oh, he's
Boot his
gone.
ass. Good job, Koofs.
Right,
Hey, Chris. Good morning.
Chris,
Good
got
morning.
it.
Thanks for joining
Morning,
us. buddy.
mate. Morning,
Always a
all.
pleasure. Always a pleasure.
So that's how that feels like then.
That's it. That's it. You got your timeout. Behave your ass now. Don't worry about top fours in our hand. You're right. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I 100% wholeheartedly agree with that. We don't really got to worry about stupid
Well,
shit about
it
what everybody else is
literally
doing. Let's
If
do what
we
we
won
got to
every
do.
game with that, that's
We're
it.
on the exact. Everybody's freaking about this result from last night. Blah blah blah. We're level on points, and we've still got a pretty good. What do we add? +8 over them now, right?
7 or 8. It
Or
must
seven because we lost.
Oh,
one.
it's 7, is it?
So we're at
That was a
7 now.
guess.
So
And as many people have been pointing out, and I fully agree with us with this, they've got to come to our place on a weekday night with a rocking home crowd. They're not going away with any points then.
This reminds me of the 71 season when Arsenal came to our ground when unfortunately they beat us, but that was a midweek night.
Why would you bring that up then?
Well, just let me finish. I haven't finished my point yet. And then you got Danny Rose then doing his wonder goal in midweek night.
Kuva, boot him.
Yeah, but didn't we win that game?
Yeah, that's the point I'm
Yes,
making. So we can rock up on a Wednesday night and beat the ass of them.
Oh yeah. Well,
if we rock up on the Wednesday, it's a day early.
The point I was trying to make,
let's get
we
to that
owe
game.
them. What the point I'm trying to make is we owe them for that game for that night. We
owe
need
them
to
for
knock them
20
out.
years.
Yeah, but if we can knock them out the Champions League, then that'd be redemption for 70-71 for me. And that would actually put that to bed completely. That'd be a good night.
There you go.
Anyway, onward.
Yes.
Nick
Cover
again,
from
he's saying,
Saka, he was holding Aziz's arm and wouldn't let go, pinned Aziz's arm against the body. Yeah, you know what? If you look that back, but it was just a stupid defensive pass backwards towards the goalie across the front of the net. You don't do that. You never do that. That's 5 years old. You learn not to do that kind of thing.
No. I think he's all about the penalty at the end, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, because I thought, who was he holding? What defender passed it back then? That because he gave him a little tug, and that's when he pushed it back. He lost his step, and Saka just ran right by him. Then, what was that with the first goal?
I missed the first half because
that's okay. So that's the first one. I'll let you guys address this then, because I didn't see this. I don't know what he's talking about then.
I didn't see it at the time either. I was going to watch the match, but then I saw Arsenal scored, and I was too busy being sick for the rest of the evening.
Yes, yeah. I watched the second half. And at the end, there was a bit of a wrestling match, and the ref gave a penalty. Okay. It was one of them where it could have been or it could not have been.
To be fair, defenders know this by now. If you give the attacker any chance of sort of playing up to get a penalty, they're going to do that. Yeah, that's what they're paying. That's what they're being paid to do, is get the job done no matter what. Fair play and sportsmanship is good. Sportsmanship's been out of the window for ages. It's I don't like watching it this way, but that's the way it is, isn't it? I suppose that's why we have this thing about consistency with the referees and everything. They've got to start cracking down on some of this. Yeah. Perhaps the simulation and things should be more heavily punished. Anyway, it's one of those discussions, isn't it?
It's not very often you see players getting booked for simulation, stroke diving. Oh, he's gone.
But you carry on.
I'll just write the next comment for you.
Rowley again. To be fair, it was a very soft penalty. Yes, it certainly was. Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
Okay.
No worries. Gotta go back and watch all this, the highlights from this. I was debating doing it right now. I was looking it up, but then I was like, nah, I shouldn't be paying attention here.
Welsh girl saying,
hope
you feel better.
There you go.
Still the same, but I'm getting there slowly.
So there we go. So Raleigh thinks he's
Saka took a dive. Yes. Well, yes. Yes.
Didn't he?
Who doesn't though? Like you said, any minor contact now is a reason to just drop, right? So
the Chelsea man did sort of have hold of him, but it was very soft.
This one was also dodgy. Well, I've seen the goals, and it was.
I didn't see that.
It didn't look like he made any sort of attempts at it, really.
Yeah.
It's something very fishy about that whole game.
Yeah. You're gonna have to save this for Bobsborough on conspiracy theories in the war.
Yeah. John Fitzpatrick saying, "What temp is it today, Dermot?" I think Aaron's answering that later.
Well, no, because we're in two different parts of the country, so
it can't be that drastically different, surely, can it?
It's around 15, 16 around here because I'm near the sea, so it'd be a little bit warmer.
Aaron says it's 13.
Yeah,
Aaron says it's 13.
Yeah, it's 13 in Dublin, and it's a bit warmer down here.
Rowley said, "Yes, something called worse." Oh, that's the Rowley bit I'm assuming. Yeah. Fair enough.
We will get an answer to
been
that.
Called a lot worse. Short for Roland. Yeah, fair enough.
Sure. Yeah.
Phil saying so bloody boring. Piss off, Phil. Don't know what that's about.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
No, it's a dig at me. That's all right. I know what it's about.
Good morning to you, Phil.
Oh, about the Irish thing.
Oh, I don't know if it's that or maybe it was the he's talking about that dreadful display against Brighton.
We haven't said anything about that.
It's a dig at me for I went a little bit political, so it's a dig at me. So I know that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I have been up all night getting a surprise for you, for everyone, and actually Brian Daigle. I spent the whole night searching this on YouTube, and I found a little present for everyone, just to cheer everyone up.
Go on then. What you got?
Right, can I share it?
Go for it.
I added it to the stream.
Well, that popped up.
I thought,
a minute ago.
Yeah, I thought I'd just put this on.
Yeah.
Thank you to Super Tottenham. There's two parts to this. Super Tottenham allows me to use some of his videos, but it's just a little bit of 12 minutes of poor genius that is Paul Gascoigne.
Yes.
And I actually got this for Brian Dagan and Bob Spurritt and people like that. And Bobby as well.
No boot.
Okay.
Is it still working?
Yeah. I mean, this Super Tottenham's got all the stuff like for Glenn Hoddle and Chris Waddle and everyone. So I found this as just a little treat for you, Bobby K, down the bottom, and Bob and Brian as well, and Bob Spur and Coover and everyone in the chat, just to show what a genius this man really is. Because Bob Spur was talking about him the other on his show on Saturday. So I've dug through the archives and, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so utterly.
Can I ask you a question, Bobby? Do you think have you ever seen like? Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Bobby, do you think he's as good as George Best? I mean, have you ever seen Georgie?
I never saw George Best. No, I've never seen George Best. I've never seen highlights of him or anything. Gaza, at least I got to see play. You know, that I still one of my highlights of Gaza is still the Scotland goal. Of course, that was just absolutely. You know, you pulled me right off my seat. And what was that? What year was that?
Oh, sorry,
96.
And it
was
take
96.
That off. Sorry,
Euro 96.
Yeah, 20 years old. So that's when I think it was around then that we started. Well, with the European and the World Cups and stuff like that, we started getting those streams and shows and stuff like that over here. But it was. Thinking it was later after that we find I want to say it's only been maybe about 15 years because I remember when Jay, my eldest, was small, I would watch Tottenham games with him, and that's when we started getting the streams and the feeds and everything like that. So since it's only been about 15 years. So what's Phil saying here? I met this bloke with the didgeridoo. He was playing Dancing Queen. I thought that's Aboriginal.
Can I just welcome Bob Spur to the channel? Morning, Bob. How are you?
Morning, mate. All good, all good.
Bob's oh, nice. Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, you're hiding him at the bottom there.
Yeah, you can't have Gaza on and not have me. I've got my Kleenex and I'm watching this.
Yes.
Bob, I just said to Bobby K, do you think he was as good as Georgie Best, or was Gaza on another level? Because they're both similar, weren't they? And what happened to them in their lives, basically, in a way.
Oh, you got to remember what teams they played in as well. Georgie Best played in a much better team than what Gaza did. I mean, let's be honest. When Gaza played for us, we were shit as a team, weren't we? You know, we weren't. Apart from the FA Cup '91, where he literally, I say literally, you know, a lot of people tend to misuse that word, but he did take us to the final.
Yes.
With majority of his performances, his goals, his Oxford performance, Portsmouth performance, Notts County performance, semi-final performance. So he had a big hand in or certainly feet, taking us to the final. And he was absolutely fantastic for England. He did more for us for England than Georgie Best ever did for his national team. And all they, you know, if I'm comparing Spurs to Man United, then I suppose we have to compare the international teams. But Georgie Best was surrounded by class players, whereas you know, Gaza had Naeem and Vinny Sideways, and I love David Howells, but David Howells, Steve Sedgley, you know, they weren't as high, and he was constantly our best player week in, week out. And we forget he was only there for like 2 years. He was only there, and he made such a difference, and he stamped his authority on every game, and he certainly stamped our memories with Gaza. And it was absolutely brilliant. I would say he was better than George Best.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I would actually agree with you, Bob. Gaza for me was like a Rolls Royce player. Do you know what I mean? In a full of Ford containers. That's for me. That was Gaza. Gaza was Gaza. Yeah. I mean, this free kick here. I remember Brian talking about against Pete Shilton.
Yeah. He told him as well. He told him where he was going to put it. He told him where he was going to put it. He goes, "I'll put it out," and he loved it. And he's laughing. Yeah. It was absolutely the best footballer I've seen play live ever. Ever. Yeah. That was it. That's when he's running away, laughing his head off. Bobby Kay, he actually told Shilton. He said to the goalkeeper, "That's where I'm going to put it. Try and save it if you can."
Wow! You called his shot.
I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say it like that, but he gave Shilton the heads up. And his celebration, you can't see his face, but he's pissing himself. He's laughing his head off.
My favorite Gaza story is still the one where in training a ball went over the fence and he disappeared for 24 hours, showed up 24 hours later holding the ball saying, "I've got it."
He's done many things, man.
I heard that one so many times. It's still my favorite story of it. You can just picture him doing it, just popping back over the fence with the ball and said, "Okay, I've got it." 24 hours later, and it's just.
I mean, the guys will tell you, he's shatting shoes, he's shatting goalkeeper gloves. He's done many things. And he could get away with it because he was Gaza.
Yeah. Didn't he bring an ostrich to training at one stage?
Yeah.
He got it from some farm or something up the road.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
They had to catch it at the end of the training. He said it took him like half the day.
Yeah.
God, what we would do to have him right now.
Yeah.
He ran on. I think
it'd smash it.
He was playing for Everton, and he ran on.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Kuv, go on.
I was going to say what we'd do to have him nowadays, and I was thinking, the ostrich. Replace him.
Yeah.
And he ran on the pitch once. Sorry, Mark. Go on.
No, you carry on, Dermot.
He ran on the pitch, I think, with David Ginola hair once when he was playing for Everton. When Everton had just signed Ginola. And he ran on the pitch with this flowing long hair. It's the most funniest thing I've ever seen.
I know
he was mad. He ended up in Ali McCoy's kitchen once after a night out.
Yeah.
And he was hungry. Ali McCoy's come down with a big baseball bat thinking he was being raided.
Yeah.
Aaron's here. Good morning,
and Aaron. It was Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gascoigne making himself a sandwich. He said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I'm hungry."
Yeah.
He was unreal.
What a genius. He used to have a brandy before a game.
Sorry, Andrew's comment here. Chelsea and Arsenal combined forces against Tottenham. Some Russians got payoff somewhere. Yeah.
Russians are always
and that check was endorsed by Sky Sports.
Yeah.
He used to have a brandy before a game. A shot of brandy. Calm his nerves. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard this, and I believe it's true. Didn't you take an air rifle to White Hart Lane and shoot the cockerel?
Probably.
Yeah.
It would. The thing is, you could make stories up, and it'd be we would say, he once came into White Hart Lane with a tanker, and we'd all believe it because it's Gaza. Yeah. This is the goal. We're struggling against Oxford to break Oxford down. I think it was who was it? It was Fenwick.
Wow.
Fenwick in midfield, dilly-dallying on the ball, and Gaz was like, "Fuck that, give me the ball. I'll show what I'll do." And he took on about.
Is that the 91?
Yeah, that's en route. That's en route to 91. That's the fourth round, I think.
From that
I was at the Notts County game.
Yeah, 2-1 at home. 2-1,
yeah. 1-0 down, and Gaza changed the game. He just went mad.
It was Naeem and Gaza, wasn't it?
Those two seasons, the 89-90 season, because you had the build up to the World Cup.
Yeah, that's it.
Where Gaza had just started becoming the brilliant best he could be.
Yeah.
And he was the season after as well.
Yeah, this is the Portsmouth one.
That was the peak of Gaza, where you'd see him dribble up to a pack of 5 players.
Yeah.
Go in the middle and then come out the other side with the ball. It was just impossible, the stuff he was doing.
Well, his first touch is just amazing.
Check his goal up, Bobby K. The second goal against Portsmouth, crazy. And this is won this. What was it? 4-2, I think. Yeah. Oosh. Wrong foot.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, man. Brilliant.
It's so easy for him to just
I was
do a
going to
little
say,
shimmy,
just makes
isn't
it
it?
look
Yeah.
easy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Notts County
Yes.
quarterfinals.
Yes.
Harding, Neil Warnock, and co, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was at that game. I was
And
there.
the next goal, I mean, I'm glad we ain't got crotch cam because
Crotch
next
cam.
the next goal. This is it.
Oh,
This is
it.
the greatest moment ever in a
Yes.
stadium as a Spurs
Yes.
fan for me.
Were
Yeah.
you there,
I was there.
I was
you
there.
were
Yeah,
there?
I was there. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
I was there for
God.
the final. I was there for the final as well, Mark. But the semi-final for me still,
Oh, without
I
a
still
shadow.
hold as high regard than
Yeah.
the actual final, which is weird
No.
because obviously we won the final, we won the cup, and we were record holders.
It was
the
just a better
semi-final-
game, wasn't it?
It was everything, wasn't it, Cove? It was the fact that Arsenal were going for the title, were going for a double. They'd only lost one game all season against Chelsea, I think it was in the league. They were hot favourites. Gaza was just coming back from a hernia. He wasn't expected to play, but he was playing. And then that goal, and then Lineker.
It wasn't just the fact we beat them. It's like when we went 2-0 up and they pulled one back. There was a nervy edginess to the game as well. It was just
first
fantastic.
half, first 20 minutes, mate. Paul Allen had probably his best game in a Spurs shirt. The outside flick to Gaza's outside flick to Allen, who put the ball in to Lineker. I remember everything. Probably, I don't remember it live in a weird way. I remember the goal and everything else. I remember Dad giving me a black eye through celebrating the goal.
Yeah.
But it was it was just. And then I've watched it without exaggeration about 100 times on YouTube or the good old VHS since then. But
for you kids out there,
crazy.
that's what you call it's like a cassette that goes into the TV.
That's it. Yeah. Amazing day. And like I say, I hold that in higher regard than the actual final, which pisses a few people off. But for me, that was a magical day. Absolutely magical day from morning till there. And then also back there we had Grandstand and Des Lynam doing the whole build up, and they had Brady and Hoddle in the studio as well. And Brady's face, brilliant, because he was all cocky before the game, wasn't he?
No.
I mean, I remember I went there with my mate, and my mate said, "Right, my dad's taken us," so that was the only reason I was allowed to go to the game. And then when we got to Wembley, my mate's dad said, "Right, I'm going to the pub, lads. You can go in," and it was the best day of my life. I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
I mean, and I agree with you, Bob. It was better than the final. The final was good, but I think Lineker's the third goal was probably the second best goal in that game. The way he took Adams, I think, and he just put it into that corner.
Yeah, I mean, Barry
Thank
Davis
you,
said, I think Seaman will be a bit disappointed at that, but the speed he showed to take on Adams. I mean, to be fair, even Kuva will probably beat Tony Adams in a chase. But
hey, don't knock Tony Adams, because that's what I say. Jay is. I always refer, because Jay, God bless him, I love him. He's my son, of course, but he's got Tony Adams' pace, but his football brain. Even for the last few years, I've really noticed it from when he was about 12, 13, because he's watched so much football with me now and everything. Something I didn't get to do here because it wasn't on telly, as you guys say. But his football brain and just his knowing where to be saves him for his lack of pace.
Don't compare him to Tony Adams, man.
No,
Ledley King.
Ledley King had some pace, though. He was nobody's as slow as Tony. Tony sets speed records for slow category. That is.
Tony Adams actually he surprised me. Taught me as a teenager. He taught me the one thing is the difference between speed and acceleration, because he had no acceleration. But actually, when he got into his top stride, he could beat the likes of Lineker in a foot race.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was noticeable in a couple of games, because that's why Lineker gets all his goals from in and around the box. He doesn't want to outpace people. He just wants to accelerate them in up 2 yards.
His positioning was great, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I'm in pop quiz, Bob K. If anyone ever asks you which goal did Lineker score from outside the area in the league for Spurs, it's Man United away when we beat them.
I was going to say Man United.
It was Man United away. Man United away. Nice curler. That's the only goal he scored. Yeah, it was away with 1-0 at Old Trafford.
Yes.
It's the only goal he scored from outside the area for Spurs in the league.
Didn't he score his last ever goal against Man United as well? That in his last game for us, he scored with a header.
Could be, yeah. I remember his 5 goals, or was it 4 goals away to Wimbledon when we won 5-3. That was a performance. I was there as well.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what though. Wouldn't things have been different if we'd had Gaza and Lineker with us for about 7 or 8 years?
Oh, mate, definitely. 100%.
That's the only thing that Gary loves about Tottenham is Gary Lineker. He's so handsome, isn't it? Still, he's aged so well. Look how lovely he is. Shut up, honey. Let's watch the game.
Right now.
But, you know, we. Sorry, Bob. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, can
Great
you put
name, by the way. Great fucking name.
Imagine putting Gaza instead of Dumitrescu in that famous front 5 for Ozil.
Right. Going back to 91, what you was on about, Bob, the semi-final and the final. April when the semi-final was on, that was 2 months. 2 months after I come out of hospital.
Wow.
I was in hospital. No, it was a month. Well, early March. Yeah, so a month. I was in there for a week and they said, look, you're diabetic now. You got to inject yourself every day. And I was like, what? Really? And so I come out. Gaz done his bits. We went on and won the final.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that was May, so I'd have been out of hospital 2 months. Wow. Still not knowing what I was doing with me doses. And this is why Gary Mabbott is a legend.
I was going to say, you just wanted to be Gary Mabbott, didn't you?
I have met him. He is my hero.
Wicked.
But at that time, I was thankful to be alive. And then Tottenham went and won the FA Cup. And
unbelievable.
Obviously growing up, Glenn Hoddle and people like that was my heroes. But since I was in hospital, obviously Gary Mabbott was my hero.
Of course. Understand. Yeah. And it is weird how your mindset changes. And I mentioned this earlier on We Are Tottenham TV. It's you know what, sometimes I forget. And how do I say this? Prior to everything happening, before hospital, etc., my view of football has changed completely.
Yeah.
Personal experiences, life experiences.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where the positive. And people ask me, I think, you know, has the stay in hospital, being ill. I'm not going to, you know, sugarcoat it. The fact is, I nearly died twice. I was in coma for 22 years. It's going to change your life. As it, and many of things will probably bring the apprehension out in you and see life in a more subdued way. If anything, it's brought clarity to me.
And appreciation.
A lot more positivity. Yeah, and maybe that's brought that kind of, I know for a fact it's brought that kind of perspective towards football as well. And sometimes I forget that not everyone's going to look at Spurs/football in the same light.
No. Yeah.
So I know Coover does. I know Coover's positive. Barry's another one who's 100%. We're going to do it. But I sometimes need to realise that not everyone, and I can understand 40 years of supporting Spurs. I can understand the apprehension, negativity after a game.
Yeah.
But there is something deep inside, as Barry would say, that probably, I think as a fan base, we just need to be positive. We can. We were all apprehensive and a bit negative after a 4-0 win away to Villa. We were lucky. We were shit. We were this. We were that. But if you stand back, look at the Arsenal result last night. Arsenal weren't great. Chelsea was shit. Yet we're not using that same narrative towards an Arsenal win. You know, everyone's more worried about Arsenal coming back after 3 defeats and 1 win against a very poor, average, underperforming Chelsea side. Yet we never had that same percentage of positivity after 4 wins in a row, 7 wins in 9, or 7 wins in 10 now. We don't show that same energy and same positivity towards our own club than what we do for Arsenal. You know,
that's a very good point, though, Bob.
We get more depressed. We're getting more depressed over an Arsenal v Chelsea, Chelsea v Arsenal result than what we do over 12 points out of 12, 7 wins in 10. Put the Brighton, and I know as hard as it is, put the Brighton performance to one side. It was a one-off. Yeah. Look at the previous 9 performances. Man, we were brilliant. We were smashing team. And there's absolutely no reason why we can't go to Brentford and smash them as well. We should be expecting it.
100%.
We should be expecting it. Just like we're now expecting, all the fan base are expecting Arsenal to go to beat Man United. They might do, but it's all about us. It's all about us.
Exactly.
And after the Man City, we won away to Man City, not a single Spurs fan was saying top 4 is on. Top 4 is on. Look at us now.
Yeah.
We're favourites.
You know what, Bob? It's funny because it's like you had a camera in my house this morning when I was talking to Jay.
I do, mate. I do in the bedroom.
6:30 in the morning, 6:45. That's the conversation he started having with me. That, Dad, do you know about last night's result? Because he knows I'm at work, right? So God bless him. First thing in the morning, he gives me my news recap kind of thing. And he was saying, Dad, you know what happened, this and that, da-da-da. Good morning, Cody. Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Good morning to you, Cody. Good morning to you. He was going on about it. Oh, Dad, he was bitter. I said, don't worry about it, son. I said, we're level on points and everything. We still got the goal differential. We got to stop doing it. I said, if you think back 8-10 weeks ago, we weren't in top 4 race. We finally get back into the top 4 race. Now we as a fan base expect to be in the top 4, expect to finish in the top 4. We got 6 weeks to go. We can't keep doing this to ourselves. It's not good for your stress levels, people. Fuck it. All we can do is get behind the boys we have. We can't sit here and say, oh, we should have done this in January. We should have bought this player last summer. We should have bought this player 10 years ago. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. All we can do is go forward, stay positive, support the boys, regardless of if we like some of them or not. We've got to work with what we have. Conte has to work with the tools he has in the toolbox. So let's support the man in the build he's creating. Let's be positive. Let's just hope, that we can get the results that we want going over the next 6 weeks. Again, if we go back 2 months ago, guys, none of us thought we were even in a top 4 race. We were in a top 7 race. So now that we're there, let's not let the wheels fall off and all of a sudden, just because of one poor result for us, one positive result for the opposite team, that, oh my God, that's it, top 4 is over, the world's ending, let's burn all our Tottenham shit down and everything. No. We're going to be fine. I think that Brighton blip is in fact going to help us. I think it's going to give us the spark we need. I think it's going to give Conte the spark he needs to make sure he ignites the players. And I personally feel that we are looking very good going forward. And the whole Spursy things, we'll lose to Brentford and beat Liverpool, and then we'll lose the rest of them. One game at a time, like Nick keeps saying, like a lot of you keep saying, one game at a time. Let's get to Brentford. Let's take it to them. We've got to win because we've got, my boys have a very special guest coming on for their post-game show this Sunday. So I want that guest to come on and be very positive when they talk about after the game, because otherwise, it's just going to ruin the weekend for the boys and their debut with this person. So we can't have that happen. So,
I haven't had the email yet, Bobby.
I'm sorry?
I haven't had the notification, Bobby, about me coming on.
You're on the list still.
Oh, am I?
You're on the. You got to get on the list. You got to get on the list.
I'm not even on the list.
Yeah. So. You don't even show up for your own damn show.
Oh, I'm sure you're on some sort of list. Yeah.
You haven't showed up for your own show for the last 3 weeks.
I'm here now. But I
saw a poll and don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, I am getting sorted out of camera. I apologise. I'm sorry. I saw a poll the other day, and if we get top 3, I think we can get top 3. But if we get into the Champions League places this season, would this be a bigger achievement than when we got it first under Harry Redknapp?
That was my
question.
I thought it was a brilliant poll, that, Bobby.
Bob, then what are your thoughts on that then? So, do you think this is a bigger achievement than us finishing 4th now versus the Redknapp?
Just before we get to that segment, I was going to say about the attitude with fans about I think Bob would agree. It's something with me that I like to have this Harry Kane sort of mindset about things, that you're okay with things, you're okay with a few bumps, as long as you see where the direction is.
Yeah.
So you see where we're going with things. It's easier to put up with things. This is why I think Kane was never desperate to leave the club. He just wanted to know, what the direction is. You have to feel like we're actually going somewhere, matching his ambition. We are pushing for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about he demands silverware now. It's just he's got to feel like he's working towards it.
Yeah, that the opportunity is going to come.
It's I can take the bumps in the road because I can see where we're going with Conte.
Exactly.
It's as long as that continues, I'm happy. But this summer, I've got to say I'm getting a little worried about it because
I'm anxious. Yeah,
that's a different conversation, isn't it, Coo?
Yeah.
I mean, the summer we'll see, and our mindset can change, and we can direct our energy and positivity or negativity to that when we get there. Right now, with a Conte, with a Kane, with a Sonny, with a Decky, with a Bentancur, the Højbjerg, the way he's playing, Romero, Hugo, and Dyer and Davis playing above their usual, we've got no reason to be negative right now. The Brighton game was a one-off. Now we need to push on and do exactly what we've been doing 7 games out of the last 10. Not only winning, but winning well. And it's such a shame, understandably, if I stand back, look at the bigger picture, I can understand why fans tend to forget that, but we can't. We've got a world-class manager there. And like you say, we've got direction. One thing that Jose never brought to this, and I think he flopped. I really do. I think he flopped, regardless of his, don't believe in his sacking. But one thing we never had under Jose was direction. We never had a formation. We never had a set way of playing. It was all rough and tumble and whatever it is. We never had any form of like Cooper says, direction. Whereas Conte, we can pick our first 11. We could never ever do that under Jose. That's why I think he was an overrated myth. And he's doing well. Everyone's bigging him up now. He's 5th in an average league.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, 100% agree.
I mean, I always, when Jose came in, if we got the Jose of 2005 and 2006, I think it would be a little bit different. But I think Jose as a manager is now past past his prime, basically. Yeah. And I think we've gone for bad managers in the past where we should have gone for the best man for the job at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, but to be fair, none of us expected Jose to come in and be as poor as he was. He still had. You did. I wasn't happy when he was appointed just because I didn't like his style of football. Yeah, that's the only thing really. But at the time, I still had a bit of faith that he was, a previous serial winner. He's done well. He's bought in trophies. He's never been to a club that he hasn't got a trophy at. Of course, we broke that curse for him.
Back in a second.
Yeah. And it just, I was hoping that he would at least, if it was 38 1-0 wins over the season and that's what it took, then so be it. It would be painstaking football to watch. But, at that point, I think everybody would have been happy with the trophy. But, so let's get caught up in here.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, Bobby? I mean, for the time you've been supporting Tottenham, right? Mm-hmm. And me and Cooper have seen, we saw a lot more managers. Who would you have gone for? Who would you have liked to see the Spurs manager before Poch? I mean, we had Harry Red, before Poch. If you was any manager, you could have gone for. They said right before Poch, he's a world-class manager.
Going back 8 years now, roughly.
Yeah. So if you look at Manchester, if you could have picked any manager, think I would have loved him at my club at that time in his prime. Who would you have picked? And it goes around.
I think going around 8 years, around 8 years ago, would have been the time that Mourinho was lighting it up. Who at that time really was comparable to say other than Pep, who was already then he was at. Was he at Barcelona or Bayern? Then?
Yeah, he was at Barcelona.
So he was, but then again, he had Barcelona. So. Ancelotti was still around. I would probably honestly for the big names that were around then. You want me to recall 8 years ago, which is not easy, but I would say for the big names that were around then, I would just have to stick with those two. Then either Ancelotti or Mourinho, but only again because of Mourinho's history of winning, not because of his style of play. I dread the man's style of play, and it's just painful football. Great for Italy because that's what they're used to over there. But for us, England, modern day game, I honestly, it just breaks my heart. I really, really, really want winning Hotspur 82. I really, really wanted Pochettino to be here until basically I was put in the grave, and I just want us to be consistent. I want us to get a manager that I that's one thing I truly envy about Arsenal, that they had Wenger for 20 years of consistent Champions League and everything. People are going to say, well, he didn't bring that much success. We got trophies. You got FA Cups in there, everything. Got some League Cups in there. He had the Invincibles. So, he did a lot better than we did in that 20 years. So I would take something like that. That's all I was hoping for, is somebody young that would have been with us and built this club going forward and with the vision. But we take it all back to the board. When your chairman and board don't align with the vision of the manager, it doesn't matter who you have. It doesn't matter.
I'm sick of it. Just quickly on Hotspur 82. Yes, it's enough. We finished fourth. We qualify. We qualify in Champions League. Five teams get into the Champions League from the Premier League next season.
They've done away with that, didn't they?
Thank you.
They made away with that.
They've done away with that when we got fiddled.
That's it, mate. Yeah,
Chelsea.
I mean, to go on to your point there, to go on to your point, Bobby, you look at Man United for 26 years, stuck with the same manager, and it's every year you've got the same manager. But like Man United, I mean, Man United have gone off the board completely. Watched their match the other night against Liverpool, and they were just, terrible. But the clubs like Arsenal, Man United, they're coming down now after having one manager for over 20 years.
Yes.
We're on the rise up. And I think
this is what
as a fan base,
for how long?
as a fan base, we have to look. If we get fourth in the league, it's a stepping stone to the next season. But the board have to back the manager. We have to be ambitious.
Yeah.
We have to spend the money to bring success. We've got loads of success, but it's all back in the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s. For a club of our size, that is not good enough. And the blame for that, for me, lays strongly on the board, the chairman, for not being ambitious enough and not backing the managers. If he had backed Poch when Poch asked to be backed,
he'd still be here.
Where would we be now? If he got them 2 or 3 extra players, we would have won that league that year when we ran it with Leicester.
Easily. Easily.
We could have had a couple of league championships.
Your mic is coming in and out there, Dermot, now.
Sorry.
I'm sick and tired of the whole rebuild narrative within our fan base.
Yeah.
It's not a rebuild we need. We need a build, man. And if we can't build, a bit like what Kuva said, if we can't build a team around the likes of a Kane, a Sonny, a Decky now, and the other players, we've got a Romero, then I don't know what we're doing. We don't need a rebuild. We should have built under Poch, not a rebuild.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
Now, we
right now,
right down to the foundation.
We need to build.
In
Another
reality,
question.
we've only got 3 or 4 players that we're willing to keep, all of us as a fan base, that we think that are people that are good enough to elevate our club and then build around them. Other than that, we're willing to sacrifice the entire squad.
I mean, what's to our motto? To dare is to do. That's what this club is built on. To dare is to do. Where's our motto gone?
Yeah, we'll know in the summer where.
Exactly.
We'll know in the summer, Dermot, if we're
3 months.
If we're daring.
Yeah, it's not even in this. It's not even in the stadium anymore. That motto.
Nothing's it. I don't think there's even a Spurs flag up in the stadium. It's outside.
It's outside on the wall.
That's it, but not inside.
No.
We have a great history, and we should be proud of our history, and we should cherish it, and we should look after it. And we need to. The younger generation needs to know how successful we were. We are a big club. We always will be a big club. We're the biggest club in London. I think we're bigger than Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham. All of them are just little stepping stones. We're the biggest club, always have been.
We were. We
gotta start playing like that, though. You want to? Sorry, should we get caught up here? We're way behind here.
Sorry,
We're
Bobby.
getting into the last half hour here. Yeah.
Sorry.
because I want to get into how everybody's feeling about the Brentford game coming up and everything. Hate to say, Aaron, what's he saying here? I hate to say it, but after Brighton lost, Pool win, Chelsea shit show, I've gone from frustration to elation to deflation in about 6 days. Don't think we'll get top 4. Aaron, you know what? You're not the only one, buddy. I think there's a lot of people that are on that same boat as you, where this roller coaster of emotions that Tottenham puts us through it's part of being a fan. I think, to me, I'm kind of used to this, and I love this because this has been my entire tenor of being a fan, this roller coaster ride. I expect nothing else. I think it would be boring to be a team that just is stacked all the way to the top. And look at City. Their stadium is half empty all the time. Nick was telling me when he went to I think it was the Atletico Madrid game where they played them in Champions League, that the stadium was half empty, and it's called the Empty-Had because their fans expect to win. They have no... You know you're going to win, so why go there to watch the game? It's kind of that mentality. So, in a way, personally, for me, I like the emotional charge and discharge, I guess the Spurs give me. So, it's a spark plug in my life, and then them pulling out and turning the lights off on me sometimes. So, I know I get pissed off. I get frustrated when results don't go our way and everything, but I'm beyond the point of letting it ruin my entire day now. It will not affect my life. I love my team, but I love my life more, and I love my family more. And why should my wife have to suffer me all day? Because the games here are very early. We're 5 hours behind you guys, right? So, like last week, they pretty much fucked up my whole day, and I'm not going to be doing that anymore, man. Not going to happen. So, but hopefully, Aaron will this weekend you'll be feeling better, brother. This way, back up to the top of the roller coaster this weekend.
Eriksen, the only thing that worries me about Brentford is Eriksen. That's the only thing that worries me.
Not even Tony, because Eriksen can play those balls over the top to him perfectly, and he's got that. He runs off the player excellent. That's one thing I love about the guy.
That's where we differ, Bobby K. My kids know that I love Spurs more than them. So, but hey.
Oh no, they see. I've said that, but my wife keeps saying, "No, that's not nice." You shouldn't say that to kids, and she gets mad when I tell them like which one's my favorite. It's like, well, I don't like one.
Everyone's got a favorite. Even she's got a favorite. She's in denial.
Oh, Bob, it's true, right? It's true. Lazy 8's got a question for the panel. Next one there. Come on, Dermot.
Hit the damn button. Cooper's doing it.
Okay. Yeah, question for do you think it was time for Poch to go when he did?
Certainly not.
Start? Mark, go ahead, Mark. You've been quiet up there. What do you think?
Certainly not. Definitely not. If he'd have got what he wanted, as you said earlier, we'd have certainly won 1 league title, I believe 2, because we would have won it the year after when Chelsea won it as well. We were by far the best team in that league for them 2 seasons. The thing that stopped us is that we had Champions League. Leicester didn't have any midweek football going on whatsoever, so that's why they managed to get over the line. And you remember that season when Leicester won it, Chelsea were 10th, and they had no European football either. So they had, apart from FA Cup games or League Cup games, we were always in the Champions League back then. And Poch asked, well, he begged, basically, for 2 or 3 players. What would that have been back then? 50, 60 million? 2 or 3 players, that's all we needed, and we'd have won both of them league titles. But Mr. Levy, in his wisdom, oh no, we don't need that. We're guaranteed 4th. That's where all the money comes from. You don't need no more than that. No, we'll just settle for our 4th place.
I want to add to that. Then. I want to add to that, Mark, saying that if do you think that's why after the Champions League defeat and everything, when we came into that following season without him being back, with that Champions League loss on his shoulders now, is that why he just completely seems so deflated and just you could see almost the eyes had glazed over kind of thing, and the passion was almost gone, and the body language, everything changed.
He was let down. He was let down from above, as we know now. We didn't at the time, but he was let down. It's like I said, we could have had 2 league titles, and that's 2 more than I've ever seen. Let's get this straight in there. I mean,
2 more than all of us have ever seen.
None of us on here have seen a league title.
No. We're old, but we're not that old.
No. I was going to say about the only one that I can think of that even comes on these streams is King Arthur.
Yeah,
he's seen us win the league.
He's been a supporter of Spurs for 102 years, though. So,
well, there we are. Well, there we are. There we are. There we are.
Since he was 25.
And I
Thin
honestly
ice,
think,
Bob. Thin ice.
Which Bob? I think we both Bobs are going out on the pond right now and sinking.
because you've got to remember as well, even leading up to the Champions League final, Poch did say, if I win the final, he said I'd just as well quit. He said that.
There's two narratives. There's two narratives, isn't there, Mark? And I don't know if Kuva agrees with this. If you look at it, we all know he should have been backed. Yeah. There should have been a build. We should have added to the squad. Levy didn't back him. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. Kind of all expect it. But then I can't be a hypocrite and say, look at our results of late. We should be all positive. We look at the results under Pochettino. 24, 25 games away from home without winning. We should have won the league under him when Leicester were going for it. There's many performances where many questionable decisions he made. The semi-final playing Sonny at left wing back. There are many question marks against his name. If we look at it as cold-heartedly as sometimes we need to. Not winning away from home, do we put that down purely down to him not being backed? I wouldn't say it's a whole 100%. We can't stand there as much as we're all Levy out. Are we really going to stand there and say, because he wasn't backed fully, he did get some players, or he wasn't back for two, or even take two worst case scenarios, the two windows where he wasn't backed and we didn't bring any players. Is that the pure reason and a pure excuse for him not winning a single game away from home for how many games it was, 20 odd games? Are we really gonna do that, or do we have to look at the manager? I would say we do. So was it the right time for Poch? The question is, do you think it was time for Poch to go when he did? Yes, for a number of reasons. He wasn't getting the best out of the team. B, he wasn't backed. Yeah, he wasn't backed.
And his body language.
Personally, I think he'd give up as well by now.
Yeah, the motivation was. Let's be honest as well, and it's the elephant in the room many a times. But his head was turned by Manchester United.
Yeah,
he was looking at Manchester United, and he was giving it sweet nothing. So he wasn't 100% committed to Spurs every single time. Yeah. And I think, like Bobby Kay says, the season after, his passion seemed to have just gone, and he was being touted for the Man United job, and his head was turned. So. Put it simply, the question, was it the right time for Poch to go? Yes. Do I wish he was backed and he was still there and he had the opportunity to build? 100%. But if the question is, was it right time for him to go? 100%. It was absolutely right time for Poch to go. I don't know what Kuva thinks.
I agree. I agree with the things you're saying, but I also think you can look deeper into some of those things and see what is the reason for that. Why is his head being turned by Man United? Is it because he's not being backed and he's frustrated with Spurs? Not because he doesn't love the club, because he clearly had a great rapport with the players.
Yeah, you're right.
And the fans. So you take that into account, and also those times where we did fall short or we did go on those failing to win so long away from home. What happens when we need to get the extra little spark from somewhere? When we turn those match draws into wins and losses into draws, Liverpool go out and buy the likes of Jota, but we go out and what? Nothing. So you could argue it's still Levy's fault because
of course. I mean, the bigger picture,
isn't it?
You're right, mate.
I think it's a big combination of things with Pochettino because and it's all knock-on effects. The most telling things for me were after the Champions League final when he said, or before that, when he's saying, where would I go if I won this? How could I possibly, for me, how could I possibly achieve more than achieving that with this team? So perhaps he would have nowhere to go there.
That was a snidey stab at Levy, I think.
That's what I think,
100%.
Yeah.
I think
there's the other ones that back. Sorry, Darren, just finishing this bit.
Sorry.
There's the other bits that back that up, and he said it multiple times. Years of it. He said you know what? Sometimes I feel like I'm the manager. Other times I'm just the coach.
Yeah.
That shows me he's not getting what he wants.
Yes.
And that's why his head got turned by United, because it was like, okay,
Yeah.
you guys might support me properly because these guys sure as the hell don't.
So yes,
but
to all
sorry,
of these
Dermot,
things, to all of these things, and yes, it was time for him to go, because at the end of the day, Levy wasn't going to go.
Exactly.
Oh no. But Dermot, you want to add to that quickly, and then let's get through the rest of the comments here, and then we're already getting to the last 20 minutes here. Jeez.
I was sad when Poch left, because when Poch was in charge, we had such a great. When Poch was there, I was sad to see him go, because my line of thought. Carry on, Bobby. Sorry, my line of thought's gone. Sorry.
No, okay. So what the next question you want to go down to a Tavacron there this afternoon, guys? Telling me if I'm being ridiculous there. Morning, Alexander. So tell me if I'm being ridiculous, but there could be a case seeing the form Liverpool are in potentially to rest certain players, example Kane, who won't see the ball at that game in Anfield, and get them ready for Arsenal. Thoughts? You want to start with that one, Dermot? Do you think we should be resting our key players against Liverpool, letting them basically get 3 points against us so that we can make sure that we're ready for the North London derby?
No, we need to play our best players at every game. We're coming to the end of it's coming to the end of the season now. We need everyone to be playing. You know, if this was in the middle of the season, I would, and we got big games coming up, I sort of could say but no, we need everyone playing. We need to wrap Harry Kane up in cotton wool. You know, if he wants a few days rested from training, do that. But don't rest him, because we need him there banging in the goals for us. Because it's gonna come down to goal difference at the end of the day. We may be only 8 goals ahead of them, but that could if we go on the run where we don't score, that could evaporate very quickly.
Yeah.
So we need to wrap these players up in cotton wool. If it means a day off from training, give them a day off from training. If it means, but don't rest them from the big games. We need all our players firing on all cylinders.
I hope so, William. What do you guys think up there?
I don't think it's ridiculous.
Rest or play.
I don't think it's ridiculous what he says. I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous to rest any sort of player against Liverpool.
Yeah.
We need to go in. We need to go fully. We're not big. Our squad isn't big enough where we can bring in and our second tier players to play against Liverpool in hope. I still think we've got every chance of going to Liverpool and coming away with at least a draw, with the high press that they play, the high line that they press, they play, and the way our front three are playing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's unfounded positivity, but we've got to go there. We're not a Chelsea where we could afford to lose the odd game by playing a shit team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask you this one then, Kuva. The next one that you just we just saw up from Paddy there and Aaron. They're discussing basically we get top 4, Conte and Kane basically stay, and then Aaron's next one is basically saying Kane, he doesn't see Kane sticking around. I think the only team really that's out there that can afford Kane and pay us is City, and now we know that they're all going for Haaland. So what do you think about that? If we don't get top 4, is Kane gone?
No, he's staying. If Conte stays, Kane's definitely staying, because like discussed earlier, Kane needs to see that we are actually going somewhere. We're actually going for things. The ambitions matching his own. He didn't say he's got to have trophies desperately right away. He said he's just going to have that feeling that he's going for it.
Right.
We offer him that, he'll stay. He'll be happy enough. But if we do have Conte staying, we're going to win trophies anyway, so it's all good.
And everybody agrees with that? They don't think that our position where we finish, is it going to affect Kane leaving or not? Bob, yes or no?
Sorry, buddy, you asked me that.
I know your answer already, but
Kim brought me a sandwich and I got this.
That's an easy one. Yeah. Kim, man, I haven't had breakfast yet either. The door's open, darling.
What was the question, buddy? Sorry.
I know your answer already, but I just want to basically, depending on our league position, Kane stays or goes.
Kane 100% stays. He's staying here for the rest of his
even if we
career.
Finish 7th?
But Kuve, like Kuve says, it's all about seeing direction. We need to show him direction.
Yeah.
When he went on strike at the beginning of the season, I said there's one player we can't afford to lose. It's Kane. We need to build around him, and we can't poo-poo that. We're not a one-man team, but there's nothing wrong with being a one-man team. Like Messi were a one-man team, although that's probably a bit harsh. There's nothing wrong with us being Kane FC. You know, there's a certain individual, Alex, for example, who says, "Oh yeah, we're relying on one man." He's a fucking world-class striker.
Yeah.
For me, he's the best
I don't mind
number 9
relying
out
on
there.
him.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now it's a case of we need to build around him. In Decky, and certainly in Sonny over the last few years, we've started that process. We just need to get the right tools to build around a Harry Kane. And there's nothing embarrassing about that, man. There's nothing embarrassing about that.
As we discussed earlier, you look at us in the early 90s. We were the Paul Gascoigne team.
Exactly.
Yeah. And maybe
there you go.
You
so
know,
where are we up to here, Kuva? We're on Ellie here. Hi, lads.
Yep.
I agree with Dermot. We have to big up our history because it is so glorious. It is, and you know what, Ellie? I think all of us as a fan base just want to see those days return and have you guys, the older generation, everything, and us now. We have access to technology, so we can go back and watch those glory days. But I think we want to see them lived now. The button is in the house. Good morning, Danny Kiriaki. You want to read that one, Coops?
Yep, Dermot. Let's be honest, mate. We're not as big as Arsenal or Chelsea. Be honest right now. We are not. Arsenal are the third biggest English club behind Liverpool United. They have 1/3 most.
Yeah.
Well, Dermot,
my heart disagrees. As I'll always, my heart disagrees because my heart will always overrule my head when it comes to Tottenham. I can understand where you're coming from, Danny. I really can. But for me, Spurs will always be the biggest club in the world, and we're the biggest club in London. We were the first to do everything. The first non-league to win an FA Cup. The first side to do the double. We were the first English side to win a European trophy.
That's 50 years ago, Dermot.
But no, the point...
We're saying that we're a big club now, when right now...
Yeah, we are a big club now.
On paper. We don't have... Big clubs win trophies. We haven't won shit. We haven't won shit.
Yeah, I know we haven't won shit, but we're still...
I think that's what Danny's alluding to, unless correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, the fact that we want to say we're a big club. We want to pretend we have the big club mentality.
For me personally,
big clubs get it done on the field. We're not getting it done on the field.
But for me personally,
top four is not a trophy.
I know it's not, and I've been saying that for months and months. Top four isn't trophy, and I'm not. I've said that before on here. Top four isn't trophy, but for me, we are a big club.
Tony says it right there. Thank you, Tony.
No, I'm sorry, I disagree. We are a big club. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is a big club.
Well, financially, we are a giant financial institution is what we are. That's what we're big on.
Ellie says
no more so than Newcastle or Villa or... there's a few teams around that are big followings, but they've been underperforming for such a long time. They're no longer relevant. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are one of them.
Yeah. Yes. And that's just a sad reality. It's not a reality that any of us want to face or hear because it's disappointing. But it is reality. Danny is right. Right now we are not. This fucking summer is going to be one of the biggest in our club's history.
I'm sorry, I disagree. And Ellie, big up Ellie as well. She says, keep banging that drum, Dermot.
Oh, we've got nothing to do with not supporting the club or saying
for me personally, Spurs. I can and I will say it. Tottenham are a big club, and we've got to act like a big club.
Yes.
And that means in the summer, that means spending big money. That means backing the manager. If we are a big club, then we've got to act like a big club.
Okay,
and I'll always say,
what was the last big trophy our big club won?
It's irrelevant. Right. We're the biggest club in the whole. We're the biggest club in the whole fucking world. Because why? Because we support Spurs. We support Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Danny Kiriakou, love you, mate, but your majority of the fan base's mindset is being directed by Levy.
Yeah.
If you're allowing our board to misdirect your mind thought of us being a big club because of them wankers, then I'm sorry, you need to question it. We support Tottenham Hotspur. You tell a Derby County fan that they're not the biggest, they're not a big club. You go to any Derby County, they're a massive club. Derby County are one of the biggest clubs in England. Because they're the original founders and they're playing in League One. You go to any Derby County club, a supporter, and tell them their club's not big. Tottenham Hotspur is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Why? You go to the merchandise anywhere in the world. they're probably number 1, 2, or 3 in any country, any continent. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world right now. For me, for my heart, for every Tottenham Hotspur Football Club supporter, we should be the biggest club in the world, the biggest club, and we will be in the future. And if you're letting that sway because of the wankers in charge, then I'm sorry, bad on you.
Well, that's the thing. And Bob, I don't think anybody can disagree with what you said because it's 100% right. I just want to see us become the big club on the field again.
Everyone does.
Again, you know what I mean?
Everyone does. It doesn't mean we're not a big club.
We're talking about the glorious days and everything like that. They weren't that long back. You know, like we're talking about Gaza in the 90s here and stuff like that. So we've had good teams. Even Robbie Keane and Berbatov and everything playing together with Ledley King and everything. Like over the years, we've just been missing just pieces of the puzzle, it seems, that we're just a couple of pieces always
away. Doesn't mean we're not a big club.
Let me just tell you something here, Bobby K. In the 80s and 90s, even now, Spurs got the biggest away following in the whole league. We went to Old Trafford when it was standing back in the 80s. Now, I forgot how much Old Trafford held back then when it was all standing. Mm-hmm. We actually took more Spurs fans to that game than there were Man United fans in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
We had more following than Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham. Even now, Tottenham have the biggest away following. Yeah. Even if they don't go to the game, they're up in the pubs. We are a big club, and we always will be a big club. And I will never change my narrative or my mindset of that attitude. That is my attitude. My heart overrules my head because I love my club, and we are a massive club. Yeah. You got like Derby County, Man United, Aston Villa.
Yeah, so I was going to say the real issue here
we're the biggest club in London.
What defines big club? That's probably the issue here, because you can be arguing at different things and both be right.
I think, as for me as a fan, personally, me as a Tottenham Hotspur fan for 42 years, I'll always see Tottenham Hotspur as a massive club. Even if we're struggling, we're still a big club. We're still a massive club, and that will never change. I understand some fans have different views, but I will not let my passion and my narrative change just because of somebody else. I always will say Tottenham Hotspur are the biggest club in London, and we always will be.
Not good for you, and like I said, and maybe what you guys are saying, what Bob is saying, is some of the mentality that some of us Spurs fans need to bring back in. But in reality, everybody's opinions are different. That's why we have all these different shows and everything like that, and we have all our different opinions. And I see that we got people jumping in now at the end. And
I don't know how people are getting these links because they're not going into the chat. So I'd love to know how he's getting on.
Well, I sent it to Nick this time. I sent it to Nick because he said, "I'll come help you out, buddy." And I said, "All right, then come on, then, Nick. You've been on every other show. You might as well join us this morning and help us."
I love having Barry on.
I just love his smile because you know what? No matter what the fuck is happening in the world, no matter how bad it gets, that man smiles at you. You got to feel better. You know, you got to feel better. Good morning, Uncle Ranjit, sir.
I don't know what you guys were talking about. I don't think we're the biggest club in London, though.
But I think the case is, I would say, I feel like we should be. We're just failing to be.
Okay.
We should be great, but right now we're not. We used to be. I want us to be again. I think we can be again. But right now we just aren't. We're not winning things.
How are you quantifying it? Based on
we're not winning things.
But does that But
simple as that. To match our stature, we should be winning trophies on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean doing the double every season, but we should be, an FA Cup in a decade, maybe a League Cup, perhaps chuck in a league every now and then. Something along those lines. That'd make us pretty bloody big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't even achieved what Leicester have achieved.
Yeah.
Since Levy's been here, so we're failing to be what we should be.
I mean,
is that school services again, Bobby K?
Yeah, the big man is home. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a flu. Thank God we did the COVID tests on all of them, and all of them came back negative. So that's a good thing. But unfortunately, I forgot to call the school first. So they got this computer that likes to call you You have to do
the
the
computer's
all the
calling, and then Mrs. K is going to call.
Yeah, in about 3 minutes. No, actually, she knows he's home, so that's not the phone call I'll get now. It's only when Christian is all of a sudden missing. She's like, why is my son on YouTube and not in class? So yeah, those are the ones that are a little bit hard to explain there. But you know what?
Sorry, Bobby, go on.
Go ahead. No, go on.
I just want to ask that. I just want to go to Bobby's thought down that Bobby, Nick, Uncle Ranjit, I bow to you as well, sir. Why I say we're the biggest club in London, it's because if you look at our history, we've done more than any other club in London. We've got to have this mindset, all of our fans, that we are a big club. If we have this mindset, as Bobby said, that we're not as big as Arsenal or Chelsea, it's never going to change. We have to bring it. If the board don't do it, then us fans have to do it. We have to show everyone that we are a big club. And
the fans did it to get Sugar out, but for some reason it hasn't worked to try to get Levy and Enoch out. So
yeah, and I'll always see Tottenham as a massive club. We are the biggest club in London. We're the most successful club in London.
Yeah,
we've done more.
How can you say that?
No, sorry. If it's okay with you guys, we're getting into the getting close to the end, and I don't want to end it on a negative note here. I want to look towards the Brentford win. Let's let's go to the Mr. Positivity himself, Mr. Bob Spur. 4-1 this weekend, sir.
100%.
Yeah.
We need to bounce back. We'll all bounce back. Our front three will perform again. Brighton was a one-off, a blip. We'll need to go back to winning ways. The pressure's on us. Regardless of Arsenal, what Arsenal do against Man United, it's a must-win game. And like I say, if we don't beat Brentford at the weekend, then although I'll be confident we finish top four, I wouldn't be as confident. So it's probably one of our most must-win games of the season so far. And then obviously the North London derby will be the other one. But right now, Brentford is a must win. Pressure's all on the players. It's up to them to stand up and be counted now.
Okay. Mark.
Hey?
What do you think? How are we going to do this weekend, brother?
I'm suddenly wondering where all these people are coming from.
I think Nick is sharing now.
Oh, all right.
What? I'm not sharing nothing. Sharing is caring.
Sorry, who? I don't see a name. So who's jumped in?
It's Danny. It's Danny the Bird.
He's not showing himself.
It's Danny.
Danny Jik.
Hello, Danny. Good morning.
Hello. So, I'm at work, so I'm in the meeting room.
He's in the toilet. He's in the
toilet. I had to come on just to quickly say something. Right, this debate is absolutely just fucking bollocks. Right, in my opinion, right. I don't know how, Dermot, I love you, mate, but that is the most delusional thing you've ever said in your life, right? To say that Tottenham are a big club is a farce, right? That is literally opinion-based delusional fantasy, because the reality is we have not won a major trophy since the 80s, right? That is a long time. That's nearly 40 years, mate. That's old. That's like twice my age, right? Or nearly. That's like how old some of you guys were when you were born the last time we won a major trophy. Right? I mean, honestly, right? You cannot say that we are the biggest club in London, right? The third biggest team in England is Arsenal. They've won over 40 titles, right? Major trophies, right?
48, and we've done 26.
I mean, then you can't, exactly. And you can't live in the past, right? Because we don't live in the past. We live in the present and for the future. The past is the past, mate. It's done, right? We were a big team once upon a time. We're not that anymore. You have to look forward. You don't look backwards. We don't live in the past, right? And the fact of the reality is that we have owners, right, who do not give a fuck about this club, right? I'm sorry, they do not. Because if they did, we would have won.
Why are you replicating that then?
No, because what I'm saying is you can't go around saying that we are a big club. We are not a big club. We are a fake big club. That is what we are, because Daniel Levy has built this illusion, right, to all these Spurs fans, because we've got this amazing infrastructure, right, that we are a big club. We are not. We are a fucking mid-table team. That is what we are, right? Pochettino overachieved with this team. That is the reason why we were even contemplating winning titles, right? Because Pochettino overachieved, right? If it wasn't for him, we would not be in the situation where we are right now with Antonio Conte as our manager. I'm sorry, but that is the case, right? we have not deserved anything to say that we can be competing with these top clubs, right? Because we haven't invested in the team to show that we are a top club. And it's never going to happen unless we have an owner who gives a shit about this team, right? So you cannot say that we are a big club. That is delusional fantasy, right? And that's based on opinion to suit your own narrative, right? You cannot say that. I'm sorry, you can't. The reality is we are not a big club, right? We have not won a major trophy in 40 years nearly, right? It's ridiculous to say that. So you cannot say that. I'm sorry.
I think, Danny, it comes down to all perspective, just the way Bob was saying that.
Bob, you're delusional anyway, mate.
I think
we're going to win 4-1 every game.
You're the one with the button.
I think I've just been told off live on air.
He's just went into the comments. Danny is just, give me the link, send me the fucking link, send me the goddamn link right now. Fucking link.
It's amazing how much stress you can have sitting on the shit.
I was going to say, Danny, 10 pound later, or is that 1 stone in England, right? He's a stone later now.
I feel sorry for the next person you're going to speak to. Can I borrow a pen? It's fucking delusional that you need it's fucking delusional. You don't need a pen. You don't need a pen. This isn't a good pen. Fucking hell.
I think that
Danny, I disagree, mate.
Yeah,
that's all about opinions. It's all about opinions, isn't it? I mean, for me,
I'm stating facts, Bob. That's all I'm stating. It's facts.
No. I know.
It's facts.
I won't. You sound like Will now. It's all about. I'm not letting a wanker of a board, i.e. Daniel Levy, to sway my mindset of us not being a big club. That means he's won. That's what it's not, Bob. I'm agreeing with you. I agree with you with what we're not won. Of course, man. Of course. In 42 years, do I wish we would have wanted to? I wish we'd won more. 100%. There's not a single person on this panel who wouldn't want to. But I need to keep faith with my club, regardless of whoever the owner is. They were a big club in the 80s when I started supporting them. They were a massive club in 91 when we won the record club, FA Cup winners. And I'm sorry, I'm not letting a Levy or anyone change that mindset. Now, Kuva's right. If we're going to go down the route of how many medals we've won, etc., then we're way behind, man. I agree with you. We're way behind. But for us not to believe, as a fan base, not to believe we're not a massive club, and that mindset should be transcended and put through to our board, then, mate, I think that kind of reflects how I protest. One tweet from Manchester United before the Norwich game, 2,000 people turned up for a protest. 2,000. Yeah. We wanted Levy out for God knows how long.
You're comparing Tottenham to Man United. I'm sorry, but you're comparing.
No, I'm talking about fan base.
Let me just say one thing. You're talking about a fan base of Tottenham. Man United is one of the biggest fan bases on the planet, man. They're the biggest club in England.
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, but listen, Bob. I'm not talking about that. One thing, right? There's two teams in Manchester, right? City and United. How many teams are there in London, right? There's fucking loads, right? And we're the third biggest in London, right? Let's be real. We are the third biggest behind Arsenal and Chelsea, right? That's a fact, right? That is a fact. Right, in terms of the money they make, in terms of the fan base they have, and in terms of the trophies they've won, we are the third biggest, right? And you're right about what you're saying, right? I do agree with it. It partly is the fans, but how can you blame the fans, right? When you've got these fucking parasites who are sitting there, right? Literally just trying to scrounge every bit of penny out of this club and squeeze every bit of penny and not giving a fuck about the football because they don't. Right? And yeah, it's a generation. But look, I'm sorry, but from my opinion, until they are out this club, we're never winning big trophies. That is just a fact. That is a fact because they don't care enough about it. So how can people keep hoping and believing, right? Because for all we know, right, Daniel Levy could still be here for another 10 years. Right, that's another 10 years we're gonna have to wait before we even start thinking about winning a title. Well, I guarantee you, I'm telling you this right now. We miss out on top 4. Conte is gone. He's gone. Right, and Kane will leave. Right, that's written in the stars. I'm telling you this right now. Mm-hmm. And the only way Kane stays is if he brings back Poch, because all these fucking delusional fans will be like, oh yeah, we got our savior back, we got Poch back. That's the only play that Daniel Levy's got to try and keep Kane. And I fucking hope that if that was to happen and Poch was to come back, I hope Kane hands in his transfer request. I really do, honestly.
And on that happy note, shall we think about wrapping up?
Yeah.
Can I just say, Danny, I love you, man. You're a brother. I respect your opinion. I've never been. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I still stand by what I said. But I understand what you said. His opinion, but I respect you.
Are you coming on this Saturday, Dan?
This Saturday I'm not sure. I'm in the We Are Tottenham TV studio, so I probably will.
Saturday night. I'll text you.
Yeah, love Danny and everything, but I hope the second round of your cage match goes well.
Yeah, I feel I want to clip what Danny comes on. I have to find somewhere to clip that because that was just brilliant.
I'll get it done.
Now I asked poor Mark up there a question about 12 minutes ago. So Mark, how do you think we're going to do against Brentford this weekend? Mark, you still with us, buddy?
2-0. Well done. Mate.
All right.
2-0.
Yeah. Danny, I'll let you take a breath, and we'll come to you last. Nick, who came in just to sit down and smile for us. Thanks, brother. What are your thoughts this weekend? Just quickly help us wrap up.
Sit down, smile, and cause
sit
mayhem.
down. Just fucking look pretty, man. Just sit there and look pretty, man.
3 points. I don't care what the score is. Just 3 points. That's all I care about.
Fair enough. Okay, good. Danny, I'm afraid to ask. So Bob's already given us 4-1. Coobs?
5-2.
5-2. No, breathe, Danny. Deep breaths, Danny. Deep breaths.
I do care about the nature of the result. We got to play good football. Yeah. I never want to sacrifice that ever.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
5-0.
5-0. He's got him.
5-0.
2-0.
No,
it was 1-0 first. You told me, and then you told me it might be 2-0. That's five of these. Okay. Now, he came back. Dermot, what do you think's going to happen this weekend, buddy?
Because we're the biggest club in London and the world, we're going to win.
In the world? Fucking hell, Dermot. You're going. The world.
Deluded.
20 minutes ago. What's the score, Dermot? Hello, Dermot.
Dermot, you okay?
Just spit out a number.
Taking an Alex pill. Where's?
I think it's breaking up.
His mic's all choppy again. Okay. I'm afraid to ask Daniel.
Please don't call me that.
It's Danjit.
Sorry.
Danjit.
I'll say it the Canadian is Danjita.
That's better.
Danjita, sir.
Have you heard his intro music?
No.
I think it's going to be a close. I think it's going to be
laptop problem. Can you do the out intro for me?
He'll get 5-6 days.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Sorry. Bye.
Now your mic works.
Let Danny speak, man.
Come on, Danny.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I think we're going to just about scrape the win. That's what my heart says, but my head is telling me a draw. Unfortunately, at the moment, I just feel that when the pressure is really, really on Spurs, I haven't seen us. To be honest, I haven't been proved that we're actually gonna come out of this on top, because now the pressure is really on. But I'm gonna go with what my heart says, because I can't. It's hard not to. And based on kind of the last sort of 10 games,
just tell us a number.
2-1.
Danny, just a question, mate. Just a question. I've heard this thing about pressure, mate, getting to Spurs and etc. But you know what? Before the Newcastle game,
I've never heard Kuva yell before.
before the Newcastle game, the pressure was on us to get into the top 4. We thrashed Newcastle. We got into top 4. Before the Villa game, the pressure was on us to stay in top 4. We went to Villa and we beat them 4-0. So I understand 40 years or the previous history of when we have to do it, we don't do it. The recently against Newcastle, previous to that, to us get into the top 4 race, we've been under pressure and we've performed, mate. It's unfortunate that the Brighton performance, let's be honest, we were fucking shit, man.
Yeah.
That was one.
Yeah,
but previous to that, Dan, you can't say that we didn't perform under pressure. So there's no reason why the narrative can't, the performance can't get there.
I agree. The pressure is higher though now.
Oh yes, must win.
And on that note, Danny, deep breaths all day, young man. And Mark, you want to take us out there, buddy? You want to call it? You and Kuva can wrap us up here. Thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate your time today, guys.
Well, you've done it. You've done it now. So
no, I'm just saying thank you to them. I'll let you say thank you to everybody in the chat. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'll wrap it up. Kuva, when are you next, mate? And where can people find you?
Anywhere I feel like, who cares?
Yeah.
Your channel.
Mark, when you on again, mate?
Tuesday, isn't it? Next Tuesday, I think.
See you next Tuesday then, Mark.
I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on now.
Bobby K, obviously, I'm coming on Sunday with the little ones for the Brighton review.
Yes, sir.
So, Brentford review. It'd be talk about the win.
It's you, is it, Bob? It's you, is it?
He's doing that.
Well,
it was actually supposed to be a double feature. Unfortunately, Bob Jr. is unavailable, but we were trying to get both of them on, him and his son together. So, and then me and the boys were going to kind of try to do something together. But unfortunately, this week it'll just be Uncle Bobjit. And I'll slide in when Bob Jr. is in as well, so we can get the Daddy and Boys show going. But they've got a pregame coming up. The boys do with Danny. What the hell are you doing?
He's wiping. He's wiping. He's wiping.
Yeah.
We got a pregame coming up with Ben from the coffee company, which is where we're all going to head over now, and then the post game wrap up with Bob. That's why I say we need to have a big win.
He's finished now. He's finished, I expect.
That's it. No.
Yeah. His show started about an hour ago.
No, he started at 9:40.
Anyway, wrapping it up, Bobby. Wrapping it up.
We need to wrap it up.
Come on, Nick. Where are you at? Where are you at, Nick?
Tonight, 7:00, Shelfside Spurs show. Yeah. And we'll see you all later. And for Ellie, hoi bien.
Hoi bien. Danny's got to watch along. You got to watch along on Saturday, ain't you, mate?
Yeah, so doing the We Are Tottenham TV watch along a fan show on Saturday for the Brentford game. So that should be good fun. I'm doing that with Sean Butler. And then on Sunday on Sunday on our channel, we've got our second show for Around the Clock Rule, and that's at 6:30. And I'm joined with Bagel, Alex Davis, and Sean Butler.
Mr. Post Office.
Mr. Post Office, yeah, that's the one.
Post Office. Fucking hell, and you thought me and Dermot were delusional. Fucking hell, man.
Alex is more realistic in some ways, actually, to be fair.
Alex does back it up, man. Alex does. I love Alex.
That's why I call him Mr. Post Office, because he always delivers.
Hey.
So everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on Tuesday after the Brentford win.
Saturday night in the Wall, 10:45 p.m. UK time.
There you go. Sorry, Bob.
That's all right.
He went around and gave everybody time, and the man that we left for saved the best for last. Sorry, one more time, Bob. Where you at?
No, all that matters is big up the NHS. Love it.
There you go. So there you go, guys.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Thanks,
You
everybody.
can't say we trust.
There you go.
Piss off, Danny. Look at that massive club, man. Look at it. What a club. The biggest club in the world. Ah, yeah.
God, was the TV great then?
Look at the best legs in the world. Ah, yeah. FA Cup history makers in 91. Ah, yeah.
Oh look, Worthington Cup. Oh, what a trophy! What a trophy!
Hey, Carabao Cup.
Bill Nick. Ah, yeah. Danny Kiriakou. Oh no.